All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're tackling one of the most mysterious and, let's be honest, confusing chapters in the entire Bible, Revelation 20. But I want you to forget all the complicated charts and wild timelines for a minute, because when you look closely, there's a single, powerful story hidden in plain sight, a story about a massive, cosmic shift in power.
So what's the key that unlocks this whole chapter? Well, according to one really powerful way of looking at it, it all comes down to a single idea, a divine reversal. This isn't just about a list of things that happen. Nope, it's about a dramatic flipping of the script, a total role reversal between Jesus and Satan. And here's the real kicker. This view argues it didn't happen in some far-off future. It all went down at the cross.
And this really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have Jesus being unveiled. He's enthroned, his plans are unsealed for all to see, and his glory is revealed. But then, look at the other side. At that very same moment, Satan is sealed. He's cast down, his authority is revoked, his power is put in chains. One rises in absolute glory, while the other is put on a divine lockdown. This contrast, this is everything.
Okay, so here's the verse that really kicks this whole thing off. This isn't just a casual description. It's a divine sentence being carried out. An angel, acting with the full authority of Jesus, takes decisive, final action. So let's break down what that action actually means.
Now, here's where this interpretation really shakes things up. See, most people read this and think the lockdown happens way down the line, at the end of time. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if this divine lockdown was executed at the very moment of Christ's greatest perceived weakness, the moment he was on the cross? So the first move is casting him into the abyssos, the bottomless pit. Now, this isn't about geography. You're not going to find it on a map. It's about authority. It's about making Satan completely defenseless. Think about the irony. What looked like his greatest victory, Jesus hanging on a cross, was actually the very moment his power was stripped away and he was thrown into a state of spiritual imprisonment.
And then comes the seal, as phragosin. This is huge. It's a powerful, official act. It's like a king putting his royal signet ring into hot wax on a decree. It's a mark of absolute, final, divine authority. This seal represents a decisive limitation, a lockdown, put on Satan's ability to influence the world. The doors shut and locked.
And you know, this idea of sealing things shut isn't new. It has deep, deep roots. This prophecy from Isaiah talks about the key of David, the ultimate final authority to open and shut. And who holds that key? Jesus. He has the power to throw open the door to truth and to slam it shut on deception. That's the kind of absolute authority behind the seal in Revelation 20. So why go to all this trouble? What was the point of this lockdown? Well, the verse tells us, plain as day, that he should deceive the nations no more. The number one goal was to break Satan's number one weapon, his power to blanket the entire world in spiritual deception.
And this creates an incredible parallel in the book of Revelation. See, earlier in the book, because of what Christ did, a door is thrown wide open in heaven. It's a symbol of this new, amazing, direct access to God and to divine truth.
But at the very same moment that door to heaven opens, another door is slammed shut and sealed for good, the door of the abyss. You see the connection? It's a direct inverse relationship. As access to truth opens up for all humanity, the source of deception gets locked down.
And the consequences of this, wow, they are world-changing. At the cross, the temple veil tore from top to bottom, a physical sign of this new spiritual access. Suddenly, Satan's stranglehold, his ability to blind entire nations, was broken. This is why the gospel could suddenly explode and spread to all the ethnia, all the peoples of the world. Truth was finally let out of its cage and the darkness was put in one.
Okay, so this brings us to the part everyone wants to talk about, the part that's maybe the most confusing bit of the whole passage, the 1,000 years. What in the world is this period of time when Satan is bound? Is it a literal 365,000-day millennium in our future? Or could it represent something else entirely? Answering this question is absolutely central to understanding the whole story.
Well, in the Bible, numbers often mean more than just their value, and the number 1,000, it's often used to symbolize a vast, complete, and divinely appointed period of time. So think of it less like a stopwatch counting down the seconds and more like a symbol for a full and perfect era, the complete age of the gospel's work in the world.
And get this,
Here is a fascinating little clue in the original language that just ties it all together beautifully. The text says the 1,000 years must be fulfilled. The Greek word is telestheia. Now, does that sound familiar? It should. It comes from the exact same root word that Jesus cried out on the cross. It is finished. Tetelestai. The end of this symbolic age is directly connected to the completion of Christ's finished work.
So, if you put it all together, the 1,000 years is seen as the gospel age, the era we are living in right now. It's the whole complete period of time, starting at the cross and stretching to the end, where Satan is restrained from his old trick of mass deception, which allows the gospel to go global and allows the church to reign spiritually with Christ.
But wait a minute. The verse doesn't end there, does it? It says, after the 1,000 years, he must be loosed for a little season. What's that all about?
This mikron chronon, or little time, isn't Satan getting his mojo back. Not at all. It's described as a brief, intense, final flare-up of deception, a last-ditch effort, a final test for the believers, a last gasp of rebellion before the ultimate end. It's short, it's limited, and its outcome is already decided.
So let's just recap this whole incredible story. At the cross, Jesus didn't just die, he triumphed. He defeated and disarmed all the cosmic powers. In that very moment of victory, Satan was cast down, sealed up, and his primary weapon, global deception, was restrained. And the result? The chains came off the truth, and the gospel was unleashed for all the nations. And this leaves us with a pretty provocative final thought, doesn't it? If the great deceiver was bound, and his power to blind the nations on a mass scale was shattered almost 2,000 years ago, it really forces us to ask a tough question for our own time. What then is holding back the truth today?